and to be carried away by the positivity and optimism flowing freely and abundantly all throughout the activity. Undoubtedly, your journey towards becoming a lawyer has been a long and arduous one, right? Graduating from law school, going through several grueling months of bar review, powering through the 4 Sundays of the bar, tensely waiting for the results, and finally, seeing your names on that most coveted list are no small feats of patience, resilience, and faith that not most people can endure. Truly, for your accomplishments, you all deserve the heartiest of congratulations. So friends and family, please join me in giving all our dear lawyers another big round of applause. Now that you have passed the bar and have finally gained the distinction of being called an attorney at law, your journey to the next chapter called legal practice begins. When pondering about the thought of where to start, most of you have harbored or are still harboring apprehensions or even fear in making the right choice. After all, in a myriad of possibilities offered by the legal profession, it is always ideal to take root in a job where you can realize your full potential. As every one of us is a product of our own unique circumstance, the beginning of every legal career begets a story which is peculiar. While this may be so, we have goals that we factor in common, one of which is to be able to acquire solid training in developing foundational lawyering skills. May it be through litigation or corporate practice, learning the ropes of the most prominent areas of legal practice will make you versatile lawyers and will always prove useful no matter where you go. In this light, joining a prestigious law firm would be a logical first choice. Law firms are known testing grounds for young lawyers. However, since you will enter the firm as the most junior of lawyers, I expect to be always on call and bear the brunt of work. In addition to providing quality training, some of the most reputable law firms even offer high compensation packages for a neophyte lawyer. This is also true for big private companies. There is no denying that the financial aspect of the job is one of the key considerations in making a career choice. In fact, for some of you, it may even be the most important factor in choosing where to start. Truth be told, the predisposition for most of us to seek financially rewarding jobs is but a natural response to the necessities of life. This especially goes for most of you who are just experiencing or have yet to experience what it is like to earn. Indeed, crossing over from being students who were largely dependent on parental support to being full-fledged professionals, a well-paying job will not only sustain your personal needs, but will also enable you to help and give back to your own respective families. Financial considerations and good training in litigation were also two of my primary concerns early on in my career. My first job was as a technical assistant in the office of the court administrator of the Supreme Court, in obedience to my father's wish, who wanted me to become a judge someday. However, my stint there was short-lived because the meager pay I was receiving at the time, which was about 1,800 pesos, could hardly meet the future needs of raising a new family. Fortunately, I was soon given an opportunity to work at the legal department of a prominent bank before I moved on to other reputable financial institutions and eventually put up a law office. In the early years, my career was geared towards the path of private practice. But as it turned out, there was a different blueprint for me. Little did I know that yearning for public service would take root in my heart and branch out to every corner of my entire being. Never did I imagine that working as a public servant would give me a sense of fulfillment that is incomparable to anything. I have served in the judiciary for 23 uninterrupted years now. While there have been times that my determination and fortitude as a person have been truly tested, I have always found it in my heart to endure and persevere. As my story goes, public service was not my ideal path. In fact, I initially shunned away from it. But then again, we will never truly know where we will be unless we have listened to life's greatest teacher, and that is experience. My young lawyers, you will have your own lives to live and your own stories to tell. As authors of your individual careers, never allow anyone to hold the pen. Banish the illusion of perfection and do not be afraid to take calculated risks. I've often heard it said, when making a choice, go with your heart, even if it terrifies you. Hardly will there be a perfect first choice, and rarely will everyone have a perfect beginning. And so, do not be anxious and just treasure every experience. However, as you watch your bright careers unfold before you, I implore all of you to always remember these three things. First, hard work is the foundation of your dreams. Keep in mind that no matter how talented or naturally gifted you are, there is no substitute for hard work. As one famous line even goes, perseverance is the secret of all triumphs. And so cultivate an unyielding work ethic and ingrain it deeply in your system that it becomes your way of life. Never shortchange yourselves or your employers with the quality of your effort. No matter how you fare in the early days of your work career, know that improvement comes from an unrelenting work attitude. Second, and more importantly, in whatever you decide to do, never compromise your integrity. I am certain that the title of an attorney will open you to a new world of opportunities. But at the end of it all, always remember that in whatever opportunity you choose, your integrity is non-negotiable. As new members of the noble profession, you bear the cause of advancing justice and the rule of law in our society. Such is a task that is not bound by any personal circumstance, as it transcends every circumstance. And so wear your integrity like a badge, firmly stamped on every legal work. Do not be lured by the artificial glimmer of power or money. After all, your legacy in the profession will not be measured by how much wealth you have gained or any status you have achieved, but rather by the number of lives you have touched in fighting for the cause of the oppressed in a world filled with injustice. And finally, as millennials, continue to be technologically savvy, resourceful, and social-minded. No one can adapt to the changes brought about by the rapid growth of development better than you. In this day and age, where we are all connected through channels of cyberspace, you can do more to influence society in a good way. Use the gifts of technology, not for your own personal interest and gain, but for the improvement of the legal field. As the future leaders of the legal profession, assume the greater responsibility of harnessing the law to meet the new challenges brought about by this modern age. In closing, let me congratulate you once more for a job well done. I am sure that you, the digital natives of the hashtag generation, will be posting about the pride and joy of your achievement on your social media accounts. Truly, my heart joins you all in your jubilation. Nevertheless, it is my sincere hope that when you look back at your post years from now, you will remember not only the celebration of the distinction conferred upon you today, but the solemn